Check our stacks, our collection supreme. Limited editions, every collector's dream. We're the myths, we're the legends, with every drop taking over the block, we never stop. In the alleys where the headrooms play, Toyleet's the name, hear what we say. Rising, thriving, always vibing. In our realm, we're always driving. Toyleet, bringing the street, the lit Toyleet, setting the pace. With the snap of the case and a click of the lock, Toyleet's on top and we're ready to rock. Collecting more than just toys, we're up. We're up. We're up.
Good evening. Welcome to your 7:35 news. The only news good enough for this time of day. I'm Akxion Figs, and tonight we have a special broadcast coming live from your mom's basement on Tatooine. Ladies and gentlemen, usually I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Wonderful, but he couldn't be with us tonight. And we're going to be talking about things such as the merchandising of toys. And Mr. Wonderful, he decided that I needed a good representation of what a real toy is. So he made a special arrangement for a magnificent guest. Lord Ludacris. Lord Ludacris is supposedly the grandson of Dark Helmet and Yogurt. Don't ask me how that's possible, but I believe that's what he says. So he's going to tell us more about this. So without further ado, I'd like to bring on our special guest. Let me just check my notes real quick. And he's going to be discussing Spaceballs. Yes, you heard me correct. Lord Ludacris is from the land of Spaceballs. And without further ado, here's our special guest, Lord Ludacris. Lord Ludacris.
Oh, hello, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you today, sir?
I am wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Sir Akxion. So I want to thank you for having me on. Mr. Wonderful contacted me briefly this morning and asked me to connect with you to discuss this very interesting topic.
Yeah, this has kind of been a long-term debate about which came first, Spaceballs or Star Wars. And I heard that you're one of the premier experts on this topic.
Well, please first, accept my apologies for my appearance. I've been busy in the library studying up on a few topics recently, and only stepped away briefly from that because I was asked by Mr. Wonderful to fill in for him tonight, and I appreciate that.
And how is this relationship you have with Mr. Wonderful possible?
Oh, thanks. Yeah, so the relationship with Mr. Wonderful, it's I know it's absolutely ludicrous that I'm actually here, but when Mr. Wonderful calls for a favor, how can one refuse? I mean, with his piercing blue eyes, his swagger that not many know or bring to the room, the presence of greatness as he enters a room. Not many I've come across strike such an impact without speaking. I mean, he walks in a room and he commands the attention of everyone. So, I met him a while back, and, he just really seemed like someone, if I had more time to be around, I would love to try to emulate. I'm sure you know and do this already yourself, Sir Akxion.
I'm not quite sure about that, but yeah, I think me and the audience kind of understand what you're talking about. So can you share a little bit more about your background and your history for us?
Yes. A bit about myself. I know I heard you in the beginning there talking a little bit about where my heritage comes from, and I am the grandson of the famous Dark Helmet and Yogurt. I refer them as Pape and Pepe. That's what they're known to as from me. My father is Yogurt's son, and my mother was the daughter of Dark Helmet. I at a young age was really at risk of exposure to the two sides in the war. So I was shuffled around and hidden off to in a distance area from both families for a very long time to ensure my safety and the Schwartz's safety. With that said, I grew up learning of the Schwartz and becoming a Schwartz master and scholar. My story would have been told in the sequel trilogy that was hinted to in the end of the original. it would have been called the Planet of the Schwartz. More on that later. I've got many books of information that I store in the library and I continually add to that I've gathered over the years, discussing the truths of our ancestry, including how Spaceballs, the movie, they made it out of the ship that was taken down due to the incident with Lone Star. They made it out to seem like Lone Star took it down, but unfortunately, that wasn't really the true story. It's actually much more akin to the events that I think that you, Sir Akxion, would be familiar with regarding the sinking of the Titanic. If you recall, the Titanic sunk when it hit an iceberg. We had a similar we had a similar event though, but instead of hitting an iceberg, Spaceballs was hit by the Spielberg, and the horror, all the lost chapters we had never got to tell because of that. Stories like Secret of the Schwartz, Rogue Schwartz 1 and 2, and worst of all, the miss on Comb Wars, the Saga of the Sand. We hinted towards that in the original too. But now what I'm here for tonight is really to discuss something as scandalously overlooked as the true origins of the space operatic merchandising. We can dive into why Spaceballs is the unsung hero of this narrative, and why this Darth Vader figure that I've been asked by a punk to Toys to review. MrWundrful, sent this off to me. It took a couple days, and it's appeared here with me, and I've got this so that I can review this. But we could talk about that and whatnot. But Darth Vader figure might as well be wear a big helmet. And a ludicrously large pair of dark helmet shorts.
I'm not sure that many of the Star Wars fans would agree with you on your description of Darth Vader, but you obviously have some very, very deep-rooted passion about the characters and the storylines. But you're here to talk about the merchandise, so let's talk about this Darth Vader figure and how you think it stacks up compared to what the Spaceballs merchandise is.
Well, I'll talk about that, but I want to point something out.
All right.
You mentioned the Spaceballs isn't the fact, or potentially could be perceived as false information, or I think what you guys recently, on Earth referred to as fake news. You have that stuff, or maybe even more akin to what you guys have as flat earthers. We refer to those as the Star Wars fans. They don't believe what actually came first. And we all know Spaceballs came first. That's a fact. So with that said, thank you, Akxion, or Sir Akxion, I apologize. You see, folks, before there were any forces to awaken or empires to strike back, there was only one, and that was Spaceballs. It's clear that the so-called legendary Darth Vader is merely a budget version of the true space villain Dark Helmet, my grandfather. Just look at the size of his helmet. It's huge. Vader's bucket looks like it was on a budget. Looks like they didn't have enough money. I mean, I know you guys and MrWundrful always talk about plastic passion. Well, you can see that Star Wars didn't have a passion for plastic since they gave him that little mop bucket for a helmet.
You certainly make some very interesting points. I will give that to you. So is there something you'd like to really dive into tonight?
Yeah.
I mean, you're broadcasting from far away, and I know we pulled you out of your library. So let's get into this a little bit.
You can see I kind of twitch in and out here because of often the hidden areas within my fortress here to ensure my identity and location is protected. So it's broadcasting a little awkward. So yeah, we're here really to focus on the uniqueness of these Star Wars figures and the Star Wars power of the Force, as they say. We know
you're telling me that power of the Force was not unique to Star Wars.
No, not at all. The Force is just a knockoff version of the Schwartz. I can tell you right now, the Schwartz is way more powerful. And then I'll have to come back on because you do not have enough time here tonight to go over the Schwartz completely in full. So we'll have to take my word as the truth here and come back to this and visit another time, because the Schwartz is huge. My Schwartz is huge. It's huge. So the Force, it's fake. It's a knockoff.
Well, let's have you back again. When can you come back?
I'll have to talk to Mr. Wonderful. He'll figure it all
right,
out.
let's have a part 2, and we'll discuss the Darth Vader figure a little more detail, and we can dive a little bit more into one of the kind of topics I'm interested in. Is what is the Schwartz compared to the Force? Because according to what my knowledge is, the Schwartz surrounds us, it penetrates us, it guides us, it embraces all life.
The Force? The Schwartz penetrates. The Schwartz penetrates, sir. Sir Akxion, you don't know. But while we're here, can I open this package for you?
Yes, open the package, please.
To show you how crappy this thing is. So let me go ahead and the package has been opened. I was so disgusted by it. Let me bring up my other camera here.
Yeah, please share it with us.
We can go ahead and we can take a look at this. So I've got this here, and as you can see, I've opened up the package. It's come with crap. You've got Star Wars, which is obviously a complete knockoff of Spaceballs, and you've got these characters that look like, you know, complete generic versions of Dark Helmet, my grandfather, and Vespa, and you know the history of Star Wars. It's obvious this is a knockoff. You got this piece of junk plastic here. It's, you know, his head is not even as big as my finger. You know, like, it's tiny. He can't bend his elbows. He's very small. He's like maybe 4 inches, and you know, he doesn't even know how to hold a lightsaber correctly, or, you know, as you refer to him, or a Schwartz stick, as my family calls it.
Yeah, but look at how buff that figure is.
His buffness is disgusting. It's a blatant attempt at capitalization on the superior design of Dark Helmet's action figures. Notice how Vader looks so ridiculous. The muscular build, it's as if they thought making him look like a gigantic bodybuilder would distract from the unoriginality that he is associated with Dark Helmet, who, by the way, possesses a way more realistic portrayal of a supervillain physique. Dark Helmet's figure doesn't even exaggerate, doesn't need exaggerated muscles to be menacing. It's all in the oversized helmet and his grander attitude. And you've got this knockoff with hardly any, you know, articulation. You can't even twist his ankles or his knees. You're gonna break him. He feels junky. When I feel like I can break his head and pop it off right here. And I mean, it's not even that big. I could swallow this. Dark Helmets, you choke on it. You choke on it if you try to take Dark Helmet all the way. That's just, I mean, the Schwartz is real.
I'd hate to try taking Dark Helmet the whole way, but
you know.
So, I appreciate your insight on this figure, but you know, it's a good design. I mean, they worked really hard on this movie, but you know,
good design.
Yeah.
Look at this. I just dropped it. He can't even stand. I mean, he's got some stupid sticky thing attached to him. No articulation. It's just junk. Like, I'm sitting here right in front of you. I'm holding this, and it's just junk. He can't even stand up. Look at this. You know what he needs? He needs Mr. Wonderful's Hexastack. I don't even think Hexastack could make this thing any good.
Hexastack might help that figure out, but it'd probably be a tough job for it.
It'd be a hell of a job. This thing's junk. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine trying to put this on the shelf and sell this to people. I would be disgusted with myself. I imagine these sat on shelves for hundreds of years. Look, he doesn't even look cool trying to pretend to be a superhero.
To be honest with you, Lord Ludicrous, these were actually a very popular action figure here on Earth.
He doesn't even have a place to hold this stick here. I just can't even look at it anymore. I'm disgusted by it. I'm just disgusted. I had to cancel it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You should be. The fact that Mr. Wonderful brought me on here to discuss such a travesty, such a blatant theft and a knockoff. This needs a cease and desist. I'm going to elevate this to a cease and desist. I'm going to shut Spielberg down. This is downright despicable. I can't stand this.
Well, I am very sorry that you're so upset about it, Lord Ludicrous.
I don't even know what to do. Well, I'm going to go back to the library. And I'm going to start writing down all of the additional thoughts I have on this, because I'm done.
If you'd like to join us on a Tuesday night sometime, you get a hold of Mr. Wonderful. You can come on our show, Toyleet Tuesdays. It's called the Toyleet Takeover. You come on, you bring your facts, and we'll continue this long time debate, at least 40 years in the making, of what's real.
Oh,
Star Wars real? Or Spaceballs? Which came first?
Well, thank you, Akxion, or Sir Akxion. I apologize. I got very flustered there, as you can tell.
I can understand it. Your passion flows, and just like the Schwartz.
Being the grandson of two monumental figures whose stories have been made out to be a mockery, that were made fun of with this generic Chinese knockoffs, right? Star Wars. I'm still pissed about Spielberg crashing our ship. And we didn't even tell the whole story. And you didn't even get to see the planet of the Schwartz, where you would have found out all about me afterwards. Disgusted. Yes. But I want to say thank you, Sir Akxion. Again, I'm so passionate about this, but thank you. And remember, may the Schwartz be with you always, Sir Akxion.
Thank you. May the Schwartz be with you. Have a good day, sir. All right. Well, that was interesting. So as you can see, Lord Ludacris has some serious doubts on the reality of Star Wars, which we are in the month of May, which is the Power of the Force month, Star Wars month. Star Wars, May the Force be with you. That came out in May originally. And, people are celebrating it all month long. So we thought we'd throw a little different spin on there and bring somebody on who's not quite a Star Wars fan. So remember, keep collecting, keep loving your toys, let them breathe. And until next time, stay classy, San Diego.
Galaxy not so far away as a tale that's told of a movie that dared to be first, a story rarely told. Spaceballs, the pioneer, leading the cosmic dance. Star Wars following steps, like it's caught in a trance. Spaceballs, you flew so high, across the stars so wide. Star Wars in your shadow, trying to catch your ride. From Mega Schwartz's mind, you showed them how to do it right. See invitations to see the solar flattery. The Spaceballs set the scene in a masterful parody. 9 sequels and shows galore, toys lined up on the shelf. These Spaceballs that blaze the trail, forget the fame to itself. Spaceballs, you're the unsung hero of space, leading the charge while others chase. With your light speed and your guns wise war, you opened up the Paris door. From Pizza the Hut to Lord Helmet's feud, Spaceballs laugh first in the mood so shrewd. And while the galaxy expands